Hello and welcome back to the Unfuck Your Biz podcast. You're here with Braden. As always, today I'm joined again by Theresa Speights, who's the manager of resolutions for Community Tax LLC. If you missed last week's episode, I'd maybe hit pause, go back, give those a listen. We did a short episode on Tuesday, like always, and then our longer episode with Theresa on Thursday. Theresa, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
I am great. Thank you. So this question, it did not come from a member of my Facebook group. That's what we normally do on Tuesdays. But I came up with my own question that I thought would be great for you. So my question for you is what to look for when you're hiring a tax preparer. And just for some context for everyone else, the reason I'm asking Theresa this question is because Theresa, you're the one that has to deal with kind of when the shit hits the fan, so to speak. So you see what happens when, I would assume, tax preparers mess up what they're doing. You probably have a lot of horror stories you could share, but with that, I'm sure you have a lot of lessons that you could share with people when it comes to hiring their tax professionals, which many people will be doing over the coming weeks.
That's so true. I do have a lot of horror stories. First, never hire anybody that says that they're going to be able to get you a huge tax refund. So if anyone's got some weird signs like I can get you a huge tax refund, don't go there. If you're talking to your cousin or your coworker and they say, "Hey, this person got me like a huge refund," don't go there either. Those are all things that you should avoid. Those are big red flags of saying like eventually you will get audited and you will owe the IRS a significant amount of money because what they're doing is putting something on your return that isn't real. And so the biggest thing I can tell you is even if they're on the IRS website and listed as somebody that you can go to, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are good at their job. Ask the people, like if somebody's referring someone, hey, did they walk through this tax return with you? Did they explain to you what you signed before you just signed it? Or did they just like shove some papers in your face and you signed it and walked away? Those are all like red flags. It's just math, folks. So just remember, like, if you didn't pay enough in, you're not going to get anything out. So there should not be anything where it's like they can offer you very large tax refunds. It's just not real. Just run the other way. It depends on the complexity of your business or even your personal affairs. So if you're pretty simple, you can definitely hit up the H&R Block, the Liberty Tax. You'll be just fine. If you have more complex matters, you want to get a CPA, a licensed CPA. Look it up on their website for their state, make sure that they're licensed, and then that's where you would want to go if you have more complex matters. Otherwise, if you're just like W-2, just working regular job, you can go to H&R Block and Liberty Tax just fine, or you can fumble through the TurboTax and you'll be all right.
Love that. The one thing I'll add is I always tell people to ask some good questions to see if your tax preparer kind of aligns with your objectives and what you're looking for, meaning basically see how aggressive they are, how conservative they are, and how that aligns with what you want. And I'm not talking about, political philosophy here. I'm saying some tax preparers are not going to be comfortable giving you very aggressive tax deductions. They may be very conservative. Others may be far too aggressive for how conservative you are. So I'm the type of person, I don't mind overpaying a little bit, being a little bit more conservative, showing more income, and staying on the IRS's good side. Other people are a little bit more willing to risk it.
That's exactly true. Like when you're looking at your tax returns, like if they're not saying, hey, this looks like a red flag, I would run. Like even if they are more aggressive, they should still be giving you proper advice and saying like, hey, you did say your mileage was this, but this looks really, really high. Or if at the end of, your returns, if it looks like, you've made negative money, and you've been making negative money for 3 years, you got a problem because it's probably a hobby. And so you're going to have that's a very, very large red flag. So you should be asking good questions and just making sure that they're giving you real advice and they're just not, here to sign, do some papers and plug and play basically.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I always tell everyone you should have a pretty decent handle on your books, even if you've hired someone else to do your bookkeeping before you hire your tax preparer. So nothing on the return should really be a surprise. And if the numbers are wildly different, then there needs to be a conversation for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. Well, thanks so much for your quick guidance on this episode. I super appreciate it. And thanks so much for coming back on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.